Like Kayvon touched on, entrepreneurship versus corporate America. Can you speak about that re-identity, finding that purpose again, once you get to a different stage in your career, in your life? Where do you find that, and where, do you know that, okay, well, this is something that I want to go towards?
It's a great question. Strategy 1 and 2 go hand in hand. They're inextricably linked. That identity and purpose is, at the end of chapter 1, we say perhaps the best way to kind of explore identity and purpose is through exposure. Exposure to new ideas, new cultures, new places, new people, new nationalities, new ideas, etc., etc., etc. And so I think that in some ways that's a never-ending cycle of shaping our identity and discovering our purpose and then exploring the world and allowing that to reinform that identity and that purpose. So I think to that point, I don't think that you're ever going to resolve that, but rather you're going to continue along a journey of understanding what it is that, depending on how you conceptualize it, what you've been called to do. And I don't think that it is either a singular calling, nor a time-bound calling, nor an individual calling. And we talk about that in the book, that I think your calling has different facets to it at different points in time of your life, and it is connected to other people. One example being our connection, that it has changed my conceptualization of myself. It's affirmed it in some ways, and it's also reshaped it in other ways. And so I know our interactions as entrepreneurs, once as academics at the same time, as fathers, as husbands, etc. There's a never-ending interplay between those two. So I just say that to say, and I may not completely answer your question, that it is all part of your journey. And at the end of the day, I think to strategy 5, wisdom is finding that voice that is always talking to you but learning to listen to it. And that the exposure, the identity, the purpose is all connected to that voice.
I'll just add one thing to that. The things that you're passionate about may be the things that you'll be some of the happiest things that you'll be doing. Just in terms of my sort of path on that. At Rutgers, we're both Rutgers alum, by the way.
I think I knew that.
In case they didn't. One of the things that I did was a double major between civil engineering and urban studies. I really wanted, I thought at the time, to build things and redevelop urban areas. And then I went on this corporate path, working for large pharmaceutical companies and large engineering companies and those things. Went to graduate school doing a PhD, thinking that I was going to be the next pharmaceutical strategist. And that was going to be my PhD thesis and those kind of things. And realized along the way that it felt like everything's been written on that. I wasn't passionate about it. It wasn't that interesting to me. And the things that were still interesting to me were revolved around urban areas and entrepreneurship. My thesis, what was it on? It was on business entry into inner cities. I focused on Harlem, looking at the empowerment zone. And so I came full circle, back to the things that were really core to me. And those things now, I think about this congruence between the passion, the gifts, the beliefs, and the discipline. That's how we define how you can be excellent. And it's the thing I wake up and I say, this is what I want to do. This is how I want to do it. I'm willing to put in the time to work on it. It may be the same for you or for others, that you find those things that you are so excited to do. And when you say things like, I'd do this if nobody paid me for it, I'd still do it. Not necessarily true. But it's that exciting to you that you would do it without a whole lot of remuneration. So that may be something to add to your thoughts.
Thank you.